Hi everyone, this time we will create an ECG line animation. We can change the color, the width of the stroke, the color of the background, and the speed of the movement. So let's move to the tutorial. Let's create a new composition, let's call it ECG. Size 1920 by 1080, just 5 seconds, and hit OK. I have an ECG line vector here. I made it in Illustrator because I'm not good enough to draw it in After Effects. You can get it along with this project file. The link is in the video description below. In the first step, let's drag and drop this ECG line into the timeline. Right-click, create, and create shapes from the vector layer. Delete the original layer because we don't need it. Rename ECG. Set the color according to what you want. However, here I use green. We cannot see the color of the stroke because it is blocked by this yellow line. So we disable it by clicking on the toggle mask. Next, add a trim pad. Set the end to 30. Hold on Alt on the keyboard and click once on the offset to create an expression. Type time times 150 and press enter. If we look at it, the line is moving to the left. Because we want it to move to the right, we add a minus sign in front of the number. If at any time you want to change the speed of this animated line, you don't need to change the number. We need to add a few steps. Press Ctrl Alt Shift Y to create a new object, call it a controller. Make it the guide layer, add a slider control, name it speed. Go to expression again, deleting the numbers. After that, go to Pick Whip and parent to the slider control. Set the speed according to what you need. For example, it might be 500. Let's look at it again. It seems very fast. I will set it back to 150. You can arrange it however you like. Because this offset rotates, after 360, it will add 1 to the cycle. I don't want that. I want it to go back to 0 after 360 and so on. So we need to add the percent and then 360. And now notice the offset. When it goes to 360, it goes back to the beginning. Also, add a color control, name it line color. Lock the effect control and select the ECG layer. Type color in the search bar. Before we parent the stroke color, we first copy the stroke color. Select the eyedrop tool in line color and select the stroke color. Only then do we parent it. Now we can change the color. Also create a stroke width. Ctrl D to duplicate the speed slider, rename the stroke width. Make sure the ECG layer is selected and type the width. Parent the stroke width and set it to 8. Unlock the effect control again. Next, select the ECG layer again, type taper in the search bar. A little information, taper is a new feature in After Effects CC 2020, more specifically version 17.1.2. If your version is below what I mentioned earlier, you will not find this taper feature, so please upgrade your After Effects version. Back to the tutorial, open the taper and set the end length to 70. And add a glow effect. Ctrl D to duplicate the glow effect and set the glow radius to 50. Honestly, the built-in glow effect from After Effects itself is not good enough for me. If you have a deep glow from plugin everything, then I recommend using that. Setting the radius to 100 is enough. However, this effect is not free, only some have it, so I use the After Effects built-in glow. Before we go any further, let's create the background first. Ctrl Y to create a solid layer, call it background, make comp size and hit OK. Put the layer at the bottom, add fill, type color in the search bar. Select layer controller, duplicate line color, and rename background color. Lock the effect control, parent color from fill to background color, and make the brightness 10%. Unlock the effect control, delete the text in the search bar, and press F2 on the keyboard to deselect all layers. Then duplicate the background layer, rename grid. Press Ctrl Shift E on the keyboard to remove all effects on this layer. Add a grid effect, lower the opacity to 10%. Open the feather, make the width and height to 5. The last step is to create a shape layer. Right-click here, New, Shape Layer, call it Dot. Put layer on top, go to Add, select Ellipse, go to Add again, and select Fill. Open Ellipse Pad 1, set the size to 20. Open the fill and parent the color to line color. Copy the effect on the ECG layer and paste it on the dot layer. We need to add an expression to make the shape follow the end of this line. Press P to open the position on the dot layer. Press the backtick key on the keyboard to maximize the panel. Hold down Ctrl on the keyboard, then click the small arrow on the ECG layer once. Hold on Alt on the keyboard and click once at this position. Let's type some variables here. We start with line layer equals and parent to ECG layer. Press Enter to go to the second line. Type pad equal parent to pad. Following line and value equals parent to end of trim pad. Next, offset value equals parent to offset of trim pad and divide by 360. And finally, pose on pad equals pad point on pad, open parenthesis, offset value plus and value, close parenthesis, and then %1, close parenthesis. Add open parenthesis in front of offset value. Remember to add a semicolon in each variable line. Let's execute the expression. Open square brackets, type pose on pad, open square brackets again, type 0, then close the square brackets, comma, pose on pad, open the square bracket again, type 1, and then close the square bracket twice. If we look at it, the dot is outside the position. We need to add plus value. Then set the position to be at the end of the line. Let's review it again. Perfect. We can create a screen effect. Minimize all layers. Duplicate the grid layer, put it on top, call it screen. Reset the grid effect, size from select width and height slider. Set the width and height to 15. Color it black. And set the border to 1. Let's make it like looping. Add 23. Press B on the keyboard. Add 305. Press N on the keyboard. Press Ctrl-Shift-X to trim comb to work area. As always, get this project file for free and always support me on Ko-Fi. Thanks and see you soon.